never a bad time to talk Niners. One of the things that kind of caught me by surprise, all the different content creators have different sources, and some people have sources, some people don't, some people just put things out. But I saw Brad, who's pretty credible, Brad Graham, say that Chad Ryland followed him, the Maryland kicker followed him, and he was taking that, or maybe reading into that maybe Ryland might be coming the Niners' way in the draft. I looked him up. He's slated as a late day 3 pick if he's drafted at all. But to me, it's a bigger issue. We haven't heard Robbie go anywhere. Robbie said he wanted to leave before, and they kept him. To me, this is like kind of like a non-story until it's, time for a 43-yard field goal with the Super Bowl on the line. And then it kind of matters that you have a rookie or you have Robbie Gould. How would you play your hand if you're Lynch with the kicker? Do you go for the rookie, or do you try to extend a little bit for Robbie Gould and try to steal money from some other spot of your cap?
Man, I would prefer to have a veteran. That's just me personally. I feel much more comfortable. It doesn't necessarily have to be Gold. I mean, who else out there? Eddie Pinheiro, somebody like that.
Yeah.
Kickers are so hit and miss. They're so hit and miss. You don't know if these guys are going to come out and be good. You don't know, even if they are going to be good down the line, you don't know if they're going to be good right away. There's just so much that can go wrong with a kicker. And then they're so finicky. Kickers can be hot for a whole season, just like Dallas's kicker. And then all of a sudden they get the yips and everything is out the window. They can't even make a basic extra point. There's just too much that can go wrong with the kicker position. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I guess it depends on what you think of the kicker position, but they can weigh heavy on a game or a season. They can sway multiple games for you throughout a year. And so you're right. I mean, once games start getting tight, especially as you get later in the playoffs, these teams start to get closer to you in talent. It is really, really hard to go into that game and not feel confident about that kicker position or have any question marks about it. So I personally would prefer to have a veteran. That being said, I'm also not going to overpay. I'm not going to give just unlimited money and pay you top kicker money. You're 40. At least if it's Robbie Gould, I'm sorry. Your leg has gone down a little bit. Yes, you're extremely accurate, but I'm not going to get anything really over 45 from you. Your kickoffs are, there's a little bit more to be desired. So I would love to have him back, but I'm not going to break the bank for him either. So it's a fine line that they got to play.
Okay, I was a big advocate for Eddie Pinheiro. I had just realized he re-signed with Carolina.
Oh, did he?
So he's back.
Damn.
So Matt Gay was a good option, but he went from the Rams to the Colts.
Yep.
Greg Zuerlein, I thought, was always a solid option. He re-signed with the Jets.
No
Greg
surprise.
Joseph is a pretty good kicker with Minnesota, but he also re-signed. So the best kickers out there right now, Ryan Suckup just was cut by Tampa. Mason Crosby, Robbie, Randy Bullock from Tennessee, Zane Gonzalez from Arizona, Maher, who, as you just talked about, had the late season yips, though he did make 70% or something like that of his kicks from 50. Chase McLaughlin, who was a Niner before, and Quinn Nordine, who, heck, you could be Quinn Nordine for all I know. I have no idea about any of these kickers. I'll just say this. I think Robbie's kind of a unique guy in that he is a leader in the room, and he's got a loud voice in the room. I would like to just try to maintain some level of continuity on my football team from year to year, even though there's a ton of turnover and you got to expect it. So I'm looking to bring guys back in certain roles unless there's a deficiency. I didn't see that deficiency, so I'd like to have them back. I agree with you, though. I don't want to break the bank, but I mean, work it out, work it out, because to me, you could get the highest rated rookie kicker, and it is a roll of the dice. You brought it up a couple streams ago about Aguayo. Was it Roberto Aguayo, who was like a second round kicker, and it just was bounced out of the league pretty quick. So I don't know. To me, the rookie kicker is a level of risk that I'd rather go with the veteran kicker if I can, just because it's such a mental grind. You know what I mean? It's like being a rookie player on the PGA Tour versus somebody who's an experienced player. I'd rather the experience kind of matters, I think, a kicker.
I'll say this though. I would feel you said Crosby's on that list.
Yeah, Mason. Yep, Mason Crosby is there.
I'd feel just as comfortable with Mason Crosby as I would Robbie Gould, and maybe even more so because we just talked about Robbie Gould. How I mean, you get up over 45, they may not even attempt it. Crosby's 38 himself. He's going to be 39. He made a 56-yarder last year. He was 25 of 29, but 3 of his misses were over 50 yards. From if you look at it from 40 to 49, he was 6 of 7, 30 to 39, he was 8 of 8, and 20 to 29, he was 10 of 10. So, I mean, he's money under 50 as well. Only 1 miss, and then his 3 misses were over 50, but he also did make a 56-yarder, which I am very confident that Robbie Gould is not making a 56-yarder at this point in his career. So,
Yeah.
I'd be fine with Mason Crosby, who also has kicked in the elements his whole career. So, it's a little bit easier, I think, in Levi than it would be Green Bay, especially late in the year. So I'm comfortable with him as well.
Yeah, I think more than anything, I mean, I would try to re-sign Robbie, but to me, it's just veteran. I would go with the veteran kicker over the rookie kicker, unless Schneider was just dead set. I mean, if you feel like you've got your kicker for the next decade and you think he's some rock solid guy, he's just going to be absolutely one of the league's best kickers, then go ahead. But I don't want to see any pick before the 5th round, before the 6th round invested in a kicker. A 6th or a 7th only. If it's anything higher than that, it's like, I don't know. I'd rather have, the board will be too littered with good players.